Did it, did it. Did it, did it. That stand is so ugly. I think I have the wrong. Did it, did it. Did it, did it. Oh, girl. Hello, everyone. Oh, girl. Good morning. Good morning. I have anything ready. Just kidding. Or am I? Or am I? Ooh. I guess we shall see. I guess we shall see. Day 33. Yes. Then I really want this to be over with. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like shit your image. Um, is how I'm feeling. Like I really want this to be done because it's getting on my nerves. It's getting on my nerves. Whatever. It's getting on my nerves. Um, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hello everyone. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Absolutely. Hello everyone. Look at all y'all. I'm sorry. I'm over here pulling up stuff. Hi Pebbles, Truth Hurts, Amanda, Tasha. Hi Tasha Sherry Boo. Danielle, Nikki, Peace and Blessings, Letitia. Hey Letitia girl. Yes. Liberty McCoy, S. Brown. Hi. Roxy. Hi Boo. Hi Roxy girl. Danielle, did I say Danielle? Because I love you. Markia, Tammy, Miss T. Moderator. Moderator. Absolutely. I love y'all. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. So, y'all, this is the day that the jury goes into deliberations. They have already given the jury their instruction, which we can get into that. Yep, we can get into that right now. The jury getting into their instruction. We also, let me pull this up on YouTube because they are live. Okay. Now, I don't know if we're actually going to get an answer today, but you never know. There has been juries that have deliberated quicker. Sometimes they get it done within 5, 6 hours. Sometimes it takes 17. Sometimes it takes 48. Sometimes it takes 72. It just depends. But I feel like with this Diddy case, I don't think it will take a long time for deliberation. I really don't. And the reason I don't think that it will take long is because I think a few of the charges they're not going to find him guilty on. So with them being I think that the jury and collective. Do you have a prediction, Sean? Yes, I feel that he may be found guilty on the racketeering charge, but I do think that he will be found innocent on the SCX trafficking. I don't think that the jury will convict him for that. I would be shocked if they did. But at this point, I think it's a higher probability with the racketeering because, like I said before, I think that the prosecution wasted a lot of time on the freak offs and trying to establish that Diddy is a freak. That he'd be a freak until the day until the dawn, and I'm like, girl. I feel like they focused way too much on that, and they only had a short amount of time to prove their case. And with the Jane Does and honestly Cassie getting up there doing what they did, the majority of the case is being ran off of Cassie's back. So, and I think that the jury has mixed emotions when it comes to Cassie. I think that the majority kind of looks at her as a victim, and I think that the males have a different perception of Cassie and what Cassie got up there on that stand and said, what the cross examination brought forward. I think that the men are Team Diddy when it comes to the S trafficking. The majority of the men, not all of them, but the majority of the men, I feel like they're Team Diddy. I do, and I think that the women will. It's a higher probability that they'll vote for Diddy to be found guilty of the charges. So that's why I think it will be some deliberating. I don't think it's going to be unanimous. Them all just sitting down and everybody being like guilty of everything. I don't see that going down, and we have to go off of the case that was provided. not an outside opinion of Diddy. Okay, I'm a firm believer and someone whom does not like Diddy. I do not like him. I think that Diddy is a bad person. I do. I think Diddy has done a lot of evil. When it comes to these charges, I think that he is due. I think he is, in my opinion, guilty of them being the mastermind behind a criminal organization. But I do feel, unlike other cases, that there are people that were involved, the ones that we will call enablers. I feel that they were involved and didn't know that they were involved. I really feel that way. I really do. So, like in other cases with like Epstein and Robert Sylvester Kelly, I feel like a lot of those people were extremely guilty and needed to go to jail just as well as Epstein and Robert Sylvester. Like, y'all need to go to jail too, because he did not do this alone. Y'all assisted in many different ways, facilitating him to do this with these alleged, victims and whatnot. So yeah, in this case, I don't think that a lot of the people, like Diddy's staff, ones that were like assistants and stuff like that, I don't think a lot of them knew what was going on. I don't. Based off of testimonies and whatnot, I don't think that they knew. I think that they were just doing what they were told. It's the difference between doing what you're told and what you are doing is criminal in what you're being told, right? So if somebody's telling you to hide some money that they're stealing, you know that that's illegal. So regardless of you being an assistant and your boss is trying to embezzle some money and they want your assistance and embezzling it or skimming some off the top, and whatnot, and you're putting that money away for them, whether a bank account or hiding somewhere, you know that that's wrong. You know that that's illegal. So there's no way of going around it and being like, oh, well, I had no idea. And, I didn't know that this was going to... No, it's like, you knew. You knew. But with this situation, with somebody setting up some candles in the room and putting some baby oil and Astroglide in there, what is criminal about that? Like, I don't, what's criminal about that? Cassie is the real crook. Cassie is the real crook. I mean, she was the madam. She was the one finding these men and all this stuff. Everybody that was allegedly getting she the one who was finding the people so that they could get, so that Diddy could steal their booty and all of that stuff. And I'm like, she was the one finding the men to get sodomized. She was the one finding them. So it was her. Like, she the main culprit. I'm like, hello? She's almost as guilty as Baby Love. Because Baby Love got immunity too. Correct. Baby Love got immunity too. I ain't trying to hear it. That's just what that word. So, guys, so y'all, Cassie is the real criminal behind this. Although she is allegedly a victim as well, she is also still a crook. Cassie is a criminal. She is. Like, she was the one who knew what was up. She knew that contacting these men was allegedly osteustion. She knew what that were. If you got good coochie, you don't have to tip nobody nothing. No. If you got that good, no, we get wined and dined. Yes. No, you're taking me to dinner. Yes. You're taking me to Nordstrom's. Like, that's just what that works. Cause I got that good, like, in that phone period. But when it's trash, then yeah, you may want to give them a few dollars. Here you go, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. So I mean, that's just what that word. But Cassie having a pseudonym name, all of that, like, she's the real crook here. Honestly. And that's not it for real. Stop breaking the law, asshole. Cassie needed to be on trial as well. What is with y'all? Megan the Pegasus, all of y'all. What is with y'all getting away with like scot-free with crimes? Because, girl, Cassie got away with everything and got over a $20 million check, girl. Cassie done cleaned up. Cassie like, look at here. I'm about to sue you, snitch on you, and then run. That's what I'm about to do, and then get gone. and then get gone. I'm gonna put up a few pictures of me and my family, and then we just gonna be ghosts. Just in case you get out, we gonna live in Iceland. Correct. We gonna live in Iceland. Is that what that word? So she did that. She get that head, that bread, and leave. Like that's what she did. So I mean, Cassie and girl, and then she got pregnant on purpose. Yes, she did. She got pregnant on purpose. She got pregnant on purpose. She did. Yes. Yeah, she went and did that thing where they drop it inside of you and then put your eggs and whatnot and you like extremely fertile. She wouldn't have that baby on purpose. So she'd be up there on that stand at any moment, water about to break. Is what that word. So Cassie, you did that. Carisha could never. Like, yeah, you did that, girl. So, yeah. She's like, yeah, I committed all of these crimes. She threatening people's lives and girl talking about some. I can't wait till the next. I can't wait till the next freak off. Yeah. I love all of this stuff. I love our freak offs. It's me and you now. I've been waiting. Think I'm gonna get a freak off now. Diddy tell me if you like it. So, and I'm a girl. She said she didn't know how to get head, but explained it in the song. She said, baby, hold on. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Nope. I'm good. Yeah. Nope. That was the second yeah. I'm good. Wait. I'm good. There we go. I'm good. Yeah. There we go. So, girl, she said, baby, I love you all the way down. I get you right when you like it. I promise you like it. Just relax and let me make a move. Open your mouth. So, girl, I said, you know what head was. Don't do that, Cassie. Now he introduced you to BJ's because you was just so innocent. I was half a virgin when I met him. I was half a fucking virgin before I met Diddy. I was a virgin in my mouth. No bumps. Okay? I was like, Cassie, knowing you did that when you was 12. Under the bleachers. I said, okay. And then you become a champ. Nobody does it like Hoover. Girl. Because those FOs complained about a lot of stuff about how you get down, Cassie, girl. They didn't complain about that. Cassie, you definitely know how to. You was over there rocking Alex's world. That is why he sat there and Kurt and let you sit there and say that you said. Because I would have threw my shoe up there at your ass. I would have interrupted the whole car. Oh, you got slut! Whore! I hate you, Cassie. Oh, it would have went down. Stone her! Like, I'm filing for full custody. So, gays, because Alex didn't know that. Alex was trying to sit there and act like he knew. Because everybody in the court turned to look at Alex when the defense brought that up. Why I oughta. Everybody looked at Alex because I know I would have. I would have been out of the court. So I'm here flip. So that's just what that word. Yes, right in court. What? She get to do it, and we can FaceTime her. FaceTime her. She do it. Gates. Like a been, hey Cassie. Okay, this is wonderful. So Gates. Oh girl, see why you got him, girl. So yeah, so I would look right at Alex. I would, divorce her. Divorce court is right down the hallway. Divorce her. No, we all heard it. No, no, she's dirty. She's dirty. She's dirty. You can take half of the 20 million and she just got community property. Community property. Go get your money because she's gonna do it again. She's gonna do it again. She's gonna do it again. So I'm in here flip. So that's just what that word. But I would say something. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I'm like, Alex. Gross. Like, Alex. I'm deleting It's Me and You off my phone. Because she should have never done that to you. Now I'm not downloading it. Like, it's not happening. And I'm like, oh, so look at TMZ with they lying ass. TMZ, y'all need to shut the up for the rest of 2025 when y'all done sat up there and said that charges was dropped against Diddy and all of that. Harvey. Yeah, y'all can shut the up for the rest of 2025. We ain't taking no advice from y'all. I won't grab. Yeah, we don't want to hear nothing from you guys. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So let's get into deliberations, girl. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on. The verdict is coming out, y'all. I want the verdict. It's not out yet, of course. No worries. No worries. Let's listen. What that were? I was just saying.
Would that make sense to you, Brian? Like he didn't know because.
Well, I mean, with sex with sex trafficking, I mean, how do you posture that? I mean, you've got everybody admitting that they're taking drugs. Everybody admitting that in the beginning, at least of these freak-offs, they were willing to do so.
And that's part of the issue is that everybody's saying that they was taking drugs, and all of that stuff. I mean, again, that's what I'm saying with the prosecution. If you got Cassie saying that she was an addict and that she was using during the time, and every time she did it, she pretty much had to use. Again, how are we deciphering when it was against their will and when it was consensual? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And how can you state that it wasn't consensual if the person was high off their ass? So, again, most people that are taking these drugs go on a trip. And when they're going on a trip, they usually don't remember what happened along the way or where they went along the way because they didn't know where the hell they was going from the start. Okay? So that's just what that word. I'm like, okay, so how are we differentiating the two? How are we, because I'm still confused. Besides the Cassie video of the hotel hallway, I don't know when else to say like a person was refusing to do something that both parties that they brought up, both Cassie and Jane Doe, I'm just confused. Like where are we getting SEX trafficking, out of this when the main person that would have trafficked would have been Cassie if she was the one that was sending the invites to people, rather she was being told to do it or not. Because how do we know that Cassie was being forced or doing this out of fear when she was requesting the freak offs herself? So if she's requesting the freak off herself, she knows that she has to find the men or the man that's going to come through, because that's usually part of her responsibility when she does it. So how was that her unknowingly? Because again, she is the one that are sending out requests to these men to come. When did she not know she was like not breaking the law? Because she would have been doing that on her own. Nobody telling her to do anything. So if I'm hitting Diddy up like, oh, I can't wait till the next FO. We should do a FO. When's the next one? And then he say, line it up. And then I line it up. How is that me doing anything out of fear? How is that me? I'm only requesting these men's presence and offering them payment after they're done with the service because I'm doing it because I'm afraid. Afraid of what? You want to do it. It was done per your request. So again, when does it come in to where y'all were doing this and you were forced to? You were kidnapped and all, like, when is this stuff partaking besides the hotel video? And that's just one incident. So with that one incident, it could have been something that happened often, or it could have been something that just happened one time. Dawn getting up there, Dawn Shard being one of the people to witness to the abuse, wasn't the best character witness for Cassie when the defense ripped her apart when she got up there and pretty much spaced, because that wasn't helpful. And then her mother, Cassie's mother, testifying on Cassie's behalf, that's bias. That's your mom. So we're going to expect her to back you. So we're going to take what she says with a grain of salt. Where we're not going to be like, oh yeah, the mom's telling the gospel truth. Or she could want to make sure her daughter stay out of trouble. You know, her daughter is testifying with immunity. Cassie's mother was not. Cassie's mom didn't get immunity. Why? Because she's innocent. Innocent people don't need immunity. See, Cassie needed immunity because of all of the crimes that she committed, the same set crimes that Diddy was being charged with. So, imagine Cassie, that videotape never coming out on the hotel, and Cassie not being in a DV relationship with Diddy at all whatsoever. But Diddy did everything else to everybody else. Cassie would be going to trial with Diddy. Like, she would be facing the same charges. But since they're using her as a witness, she is exonerated. She is given immunity. So again, how can a jury say that Diddy is guilty of all of these charges when the state itself, the government themselves, has said Cassie's not, when she was the main culprit due to her testimony? She was one of the employees as well. She's a part of the RICO. She's a part of this criminal organization. She's a part of it. 100%. Rather, she wants to claim I was being the whole time. Not the whole time. No, you were not. You were consciously making the decision to engage in this behavior. But then everything is pushed towards, he made me do it. Well, when did you have your own mind? Because do you have it right now? Do you have it right now? When did you start making decisions for yourself again? Are you making them right now? Or is the prosecution making them for you? Because I'm confused. Are your lawyers making this? Like, did your lawyer make your lawsuit up for you? Or was that you? Because you come up here telling a different story. So who wrote that lawsuit? Was it you? Or was it your attorneys? Because it's not the same. Your attorney said that you never looked at Diddy in that way. He was like a father figure to you, and you weren't attracted to him in the least bit. You get up on here in the stand and says you basically was in love with him since first sight. Since you first laid eyes on him, you wanted him. Savannah, he's a good man. That's what you're getting, but your lawsuit didn't. So again, Cassie's not the best witness. She's their star witness, but she's not the best witness, and she's guilty. She's just as guilty as Diddy. So you can't say that Diddy is guilty of things and not put Cassie in the same sentence. Like, you would be being biased to say that Cassie is not right there with Diddy.
Each and every one of them.
That's bias.
About what this juror has done, and the juror themselves.
At this point, you can't dislike Diddy for what these charges and not dislike Cassie, because that's being fair. Now, if you want to throw in there, oh, I feel sorry for her because of the things that she endured, that he was putting his hands on her and whatnot, because none of that stuff is right. And I feel badly for, that as well. Cassie ain't on trial, but she should be. See, that's the problem, and that's the whole point of bringing that up. How can you consciously sit there as a juror, unless you're just not a bright one, sit there consciously as a juror and know that this woman was a part and committed these same crimes, but the government has garnished her innocent. So if the government is saying that she's innocent, Why would I say that he's guilty? Why? Cassie is speaking of no situations where a weapon was placed at her temple or anything, and she was told to do something, and she did it. That is when a person has no choice. It's either live or die. See, she's putting herself in theoretical situations because there was never truly a situation to where she was grasping onto life. That never happened. So the things that Cassie was doing, she consciously did. So if she can consciously do these things, okay, and get away with them, why can't he? Why can't he? See, Cassie's not getting immunity because she's innocent. You don't get immunity as an innocent. You're just that. You don't need it. What that would be weird to tell a person, although you're innocent and you don't have anything to do with this, we're going to give you immunity. Why? There's no way that I can incriminate myself. If I'm a witness and I saw something happen that I had nothing to do with and I reported it, what would I need immunity for testifying? I'm not a part of anything besides being a bystander. Cassie was not a bystander. She acted. We hear the audio, her threatening people, telling them that she herself was going to take their life. That is a criminal. That is what that word. Diddy is a criminal because he does the same thing. Those are crimes. So how can a person sit on a stand and continue and consistently speak of how they were in fear while instilling it? That's like Diddy getting on the stand saying that he was in fear of Cassie. What? How were you in fear? When you were pummeling her in hallways and stuff like that, what was you scared of? Taking her life? Because that's all I could see. But scared of what? So it's the same thing hearing audio, because if we didn't hear certain audio of Cassie doing certain things, we wouldn't think she was capable of it. We wouldn't think that. If somebody was saying like, oh, I heard Cassie was doing da-da-da and saying da-da-da to something, that's hearsay. So we're not going to believe any of that stuff. I wouldn't. And somebody, I was like, no, that's just a way of them trying to make her look bad. That's just a way of them trying to take away Cassie being a victim, and she is a victim. That I would look at it that way. I don't feel like people are just trying to hate on her. Try to put mixed information out there because they're siding with Diddy. That's how I'm looking at it. But to hear that audio for myself, it's like, who are you? Who are you? Because the person I thought Cassie was, she's not. She's not. She's not that person. I thought Cassie, shout out to Danielle for becoming a member, shout out to you, sweetheart. I thought Cassie was just a bystander that was just so happened to be there, met this man, and he took complete advantage of her and whatnot. And in ways he did. He did. He did. But that's not a crime. That's not a crime. It's not. If Diddy was allegedly holding her music over her head, just like he's done Mace and so many other artists, leave. Sue. Do what you gotta do. Fight the good fight. It don't mean sit around and keep doing freak-offs and being mistreated and thrown around and because he feels like he's a pimp and you his hoe. When you've had chance after chance after chance after chance to leave this situation, but you keep re-entering it. So as a juror, I'm going to think that way. It was plenty of times where Diddy wasn't bothered with her. He'd run around with all his other FOs and all his other girls and stuff like that. Then here she come. Talking about some miss you. Hey, big head. When the next FO? Ooh, not the thing you despise. Ooh, not the thing you hate doing. Like, so she wasn't trapped in a deal. She could have left just like everybody else. That is an excuse. Because Mace could have sat around for years being mistreated. Biggie could have sat around for years being mistreated. They could have did that. Biggie was literally leaving Bad Boy before he passed away. He had signed multiple deals too. Oh well. You sue, you do what you gotta do. TLC almost lost their name, all of that stuff to get out of a bad deal. That is bullshit. I'm thinking she really like locked down over there. She wasn't. If she wanted to leave, she could have. She did. She got married. She had kids. All of that. Stop excusing it. Stop excusing her. Hold her accountable. Meaning, you could have left if you wanted to. So she didn't just, a person don't just miss a person. Sometimes they miss behavior. Sometimes they miss being slapped around and all of that because, again, she's inviting it into her world. She was doing that deliberately. She needs to be accountable for that because then she can move on from it. Instead of playing, oh, woe is me. No, ain't no woe is shit. But it's women out here losing their lives on a day-to-day basis because they cannot leave, or when they try to, they perish because of the sick individual that won't let them be. He blew up allegedly Kid Cudi car, not her. It's people out here losing their lives, and she out here playing with it, because that's what that is, playing with it. You successfully remove yourself from this individual, and you keep finding ways. Like the reason he blew up Kid Cudi car because he didn't see her. No, she was still going over there doing freak offs to him even while she was with Cudi. But she doesn't need to be accountable for that because of the hotel video. What does that have to do with that? This man losing vehicles, his life being put in danger, his house could have set on fire, all type of stuff. All because she playing games. But let's not consider any of that. Other people's lives. But Cudi don't have nothing to do with what's going on between her and Diddy. Nothing. But he felt a sense of wanting to protect her. Because a lot of y'all look at some people like victims that don't feel that way themselves. So it's like you give them the victim card and they'll give it to themselves. Look at Carisha. All type of stuff could have happened to her. But she on Revolt talking about how Diddy never did anything to her. You know, all of that blah, 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 blah. So she could be. We don't know. We don't know what she went through. We have no idea. But as far as we know, she said nothing. Nothing at all. Cassie did as well for years. But then we come to find out that there was a lot going on with her. He was over there doing certain things to her. So that don't mean that because Carisha is stating that, she could be stating it out of fear. She could be the same way. But no one gives Carisha that grace. Because since Carisha, you know, speaks a certain way, talks a certain way, and carries herself a certain way, she a hood rat. So as a hood rat, she ain't been through none of that. We have no idea. Sean, what charges do you think he'd be good to you? Racketeering. I could see the racketeering. But the ex-African, I don't see that. Because again, like people say, Diddy's on trial. When at one point did you hear or see any proof of Diddy requesting anyone besides calling the escort place? Every time an escort was in front of him, it was due to someone else. Nino Brown. So as the jurors, you have to go in there with that information. That you cannot literally place him, because that's an ongoing thing if you're saying that it's a criminal organization. That's something that is ongoing. So they have to show that ongoing, not he did it one time. Like that, why is this federal if it only happened one time? Like, why is this so big if it's just like one person? This should just be like normal, like state court, you know, or something like that. You know, not federal, you know. But this is huge. He has multiple counts of things. So, again, I don't see. What about the institution? Cassie was the main person calling people. Whether it was per his request, she can't prove that. She can't. Because how are you decipher him saying, let's do a freak off? That could be her finding a friend. You know, again, you have to prove these things. So most of the institution was Cassie. So I don't really see that charge sticking either. I don't. That's why I feel like racketeering, possibly. But I really don't see them finding him guilty because overall, the prosecution made him look like a freak. They made him look like a freak. They did not make him look like, oh, he's just, taking these women and, throwing them in rooms and having his way with them while recording it and having groups of men take advantage of them. Everything that Cassie described and everything that Jane Doe described when it came to sex was consensual. Mm-hmm. Except for when Cassie mentioned that he allegedly R-worded her, but she did neglected to mention that she was still dealing with him after. And that, again, that's not a good look. The jury's not going to look at that and just be like, oh, well, Stockholm. They're not doctors. Like, you're not, a juror can't go sit down and they're like, well, maybe she was going through Stockholm Syndrome. Are you a doctor? No. Okay, well, there's nothing in this paperwork that says anything about anybody being diagnosed with Stockholm. So, another angle. Another angle. You got to come with another angle. Like that is, it don't work like that. It really don't. So if people think that the jurors are going to go in there and sit down and be like, oh, well, after he R-worded her, she went back because she was traumatized. She was groomed, though. Yeah, like a stripper. Correct. Like a stripper. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct. Like a stripper. We found out in court that Cassie and Diddy were never in a relationship. That's what we found out in court. Cassie was jealous of the relationships that he actually did have, like with Kim Porter and other people. But Cassie's worth was coming around, finding men to sleep with, and then sometimes independently sleeping with Diddy. And then sleeping with men and describing what it felt like, That was her job. That was her job. She was never truly like a girlfriend. No. That really never happened. Mm-mm. Now, they were possessive of each other, and pimps and hoes usually are. Pimps are really possessive of their hoes, and hoes are usually possessive of their pimp. Correct. Yeah. Because it's the same relationship. I really don't see the difference. She literally rounded up other fellow hoes. That's what the bottom just do. That's what they do. So again, the jurors aren't sitting there. If you heard what I heard, I wouldn't be sitting there as a juror like they were in this tumultuous relationship. No. He pimped her. He did. Because he was paying her too. So she was getting paid for her services as well. She wasn't there just free. She wasn't there like, I'm just going to sleep with people and get nothing out of this. Although I hate the SCX that's going on and all of that. That happens for hours, sometimes days. Although I hate all that, I'm just going to do it just because I want to come over. No. You were definitely reaping benefits. Correct. Whether it was the lifestyle, checks, he bought her boutiques, all type of stuff. All type of stuff. And no one's going to question it, back then, because they were allegedly dating. But no. He was addicted to FOs and to that type of lifestyle. And she tried to be honest many times with him about being in a relationship, meaning she didn't want to do the FOs. She wanted to be with him. Like, I want to be more than an FO. Like, she didn't mind continuously doing them. That's what I got. She just wanted to mean more. That's it. That's what I got from her. She wanted to have a bigger presence in his world, like in his everyday world, besides only being relevant when he wants a pretty thing on his arm or something to walk the red carpet with or someone to vacation with and whatnot. She wanted to be more than that. That's what I got. Shout out to Daylight. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for the super sticker. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you so much, sweetie. Yeah, so please hit the like. Please hit the like over 300 some people in the building. 185 likes. Thank you so much to everybody who hits the like thus far. Double tap that screen. Double tap that screen. Double tap. So yeah, that's what I gather. So again, I do agree that she was owned by him, but not in a way that she didn't want to be. She did what she had to do in her mind because she had many other options. Many other options. And you don't have to be 50 to know better. You don't. You don't. You really don't. And then she had good parents. So with her having good parents, she should know better, right? She should know better, right? My daughter know better. My sons know better. So yeah. If she used him, she definitely repeated it and wasn't stuff. So right. Correct. Great, but let's go listening.
To ask questions about it,
2 hours yet into deliberations and already something so stark such as this. I do have another small update right now. The judge says to both sides, and he's telling them, confer on a response. I'll stay here. So kind of, you two discuss. Mauricio, I've got to ask you, what does this mean? What are your thoughts?
We can't hear you. Mauricio.
They're fighting. They're not even fighting about the decision. They're fighting about how they're going to come up to the decision. So I think that when you read into the question, I think what the question's highlighting is a power play that's going on. So one person is not getting along with another person. Maybe the fourth person has a problem with another person, and now he's saying, you're not following the rules given to us by the court. But when I hear that question, for me it highlights that there's personality issues at play, and that they're fighting. So let's see what happens. But shocking that it's happening so quickly. And imagine it's not. It would foreshadow that this is going to be a long, drawn-out deliberation. That they've come up with that question only 2 hours in.
And I mean, the jury is so important, right? They're so paramount into all of this. And as you were talking, Mauricio, I was thinking the same thing. Like, if they're already arguing about all of this, we're looking at a long deliberation time, which, by the way,
no, they need to hurry up.
I'm hosting live from the field, so I don't have a projection of like what we're seeing. So I do want to say that our note, I think I said we weren't quite at 2 hours yet. It looks like we're at 2 hours and 2 minutes, at least in the last minute, as far as the jury clock or the deliberation clock, rather. It's been kind of funky, but that's kind of where we're at. So 2 hours, either way. Pretty early.
So the jurors are already having issues. So it sounds like a lot of drama. Like the question being asked is basically one of the jurors said to another one that you're not following the rules and you need to follow what these rules is, because if your ass don't, I'm gonna tell the judge. Pretty much. But if there's already conflict, again, it means that they could be there for a while. If they're already not getting along, or just don't like each other personally, or don't like each other's personalities, or don't like what they're saying. Sean, how many jurors are black? I think, is it 3? 3, or is it 2 now? Because they took one away and they replaced him with an older white male, the one that couldn't decide on his address. What was it, Juror 4 or something like that? So I know it was a black. I know it's a black lady because I saw like braids. So I'm like, okay, that's a black woman. When I look at the pictures from the court, I think it was 3. I think it's 6. 6. They're trying to get him up out of here. So, again, you never know. A jury can be so unpredictable, and in a case like this, it could just it could swing either way. But I don't see it. I don't see it swinging him being guilty on all charges.
Absolutely.
What do y'all think in the chat? I don't think he's going to be guilty on all charges. I really don't think that. Maybe 2: racketeering and if anything, trying to get him on the Ocean because the money was his that was being dispersed, rather it was coming from another party or not. So, maybe they're trying to pull him up with those two things, but I just don't see the SCX trafficking charge sticking. I just don't see that sticking. I don't think that that's where the jury's going to argue. I think the jury's going to have other arguments. I don't think that they're going to really argue when it comes to the SC trafficking charge. I really don't think that it's going to be like a long deliberation about that. I think the deliberating is going to come in or the argumentative deliberation is going to come in when the racketeering and the Ocean, when that comes up. I think then it's going to fireworks. Then it's going to be like, well, this and this and this, look at this, because I don't see what the freak off tapes and whatnot. I just don't see what that proved. So, me even sitting there as a juror, like bringing up the FO tape for what? If everything was consensual, it looked like everybody had a good time, everybody was enjoying themselves, it's really not much to talk about. We know he a freak. Clearly, he liked to spice it up, voyeur the situation. We get it. We understand. But, after King, and then you got two of the FOs. Both of them said that they didn't feel like they was that one. They said that they're not stitutes. Both of them. Both of them said that we are not stitutes, and they also said that they do not feel like they were trafficked. So where is the hard hitting? He's guilty of SCX trafficking. Where's that coming from? Cassie? I don't know. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Is the trafficking charge coming from Cassie?
What's really stunning?
Because she did basically, state how she was trafficked, from state to state, all of that stuff. She's just country to countries too. But she basically explained, so unless they're using her as like the main witness to the trafficking, like, okay, well, we had a person that was trafficked testify. It was Cassie Ventura. She was, do we see that? Are we saying it like that?
It is how quick this note came, and the fact that the note came at all. I mean, this is a foreman in a jury telling the entire world, really, if you think about it, because of the high publicity nature of this trial, that a juror is out of bounds, that one of their fellow number.
Y'all think it's a black one? Y'all think it's a black juror?
Informing on that other juror. Imagine now the dynamics, and did the rest of the jurors agree that that note should be sent? Did all 10 other jurors, in addition to the foreman, say, yeah, we better let the judge know that this guy, or this person, I should say, is not cooperating? That's the thing that really strikes at me, that it happened so quickly, and that there has really been a telling on this juror by another juror, the foreperson. I've never seen anything happen like this so quickly in deliberations. It really is stunning, and it doesn't bode well for a quick verdict.
No, it means they're in there arguing. So if they're in there arguing, we're not getting a verdict today. Like there is a high probability that no verdict is coming out today. If they are sending notes and stuff already to the judge, like, look at here. Thank you so much, Loki, for the cash app. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you so much, Loki. I love you. So yeah, it's not giving. Because they're arguing already. It's usually stuff like that towards, the end of deliberation. Like, okay, we got a decent amount of this figured out already, and then now we're at a standstill, with certain jurors, so now we need assistance from the outside. But to be right at the beginning, y'all just sat down, y'all but 2 hours, y'all barely been in here, the seats is barely warm, and y'all already sending notes to the judge, letting them know that someone is definitely being unruly and not following the protocol that was given to follow with the jury instructions. So that is interesting. That does say that it's going to be a minute. It's going to be a hot second because we would rather than be quiet. Because if it was quiet on the home front, then that means a lot is being done, a lot is being figured out. Someone is pleading a good case, or you know what. But when this happening, chaos is usually ensued. It's usually chaotic. It's usually the person on the other side, but you said it's usually a lot of that going on. It's probably very hot inside of there because, again, 33 days, well, 32 technically. 32 days, soaking up all that information, having the exhibits and all of that on display and all of that. Oh, girl. But if they're fighting, that means that guilty is coming up. That means that guilty is coming up. The word guilty is coming up a lot if they're already fighting. If it's already an issue. That's definitely a word being thrown around in there a lot. I wish I could be a fly on the wall. I bet you it's, ooh. I bet you it's spicy up in there. I bet you it's real spicy.
Room submarinian, if that is in fact sent over to the jury, is going to be so important. For those of you just joining us, hi, thanks for tuning in. And remember, you can send us any sort of questions for our all-star panel that we have here. And I have another one for you now. This is from Liz Murph. So I'm going to send this one over to you, Brian. And this is a good question, Liz. Okay, so how/why is the jury made up of 8 men and just 4 women? 2 times the men than the women, watching hours of sex tapes and all the rest, which she doesn't write, but I'm just going to say freak-offs. Is gender not considered, even given the subject matter in this case? Brian, what do you think? I mean, I do think that the gender is pretty important in all of this. What are your thoughts?
Well, blame the lawyers because they picked the jury. Both sides had the ability to pick jurors. I don't know what the composition of the entire panel is. Sometimes, I've recently had it in a case where a lot of the
So it gives prosecution picked all of the women and the defense picked all the men. They try to make it a whole jury of men. I'm telling you, they try to make it as easy on Diddy as possible.
And on the jury than women for whatever reason.
Because men are biased.
I've said it 100 times. Trying to ascribe, gender-wise, what's better in a case involving sexual allegations is sometimes a fool's errand. And the fact that it's 8-4 is simply a reflection of.
Well, men are going to stand in his shoes. That's why I say it's a biased approach. Having a bunch of men up there instead of women, because a woman is going to look at it from the female's perspective and put herself in her shoes 9 times out of 10. And a male is going to do the same thing. So a male is going to be like, if I was on trial or if this was going on, I would want them to do this or I would want them to do that. Or, just because I did this, you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's more sort of like they would prefer men decide this over women because women are going to be unbiased more so, of look at it in the sense of more nurturing nature, emotion, being involved, to be worried about how the person felt or what they were going through. Men, 9 times out of 10, aren't really going to be thinking of that. They're not going to be thinking of what Cassie was going through that day on the hotel on the floor. They have daughters. That may help a little bit. Like they wouldn't want, their daughters, going through anything like that. So that may help. But other than that,
Graphic images or videos or text messages for that matter, some of the things that were read in court, I wouldn't want to speak aloud here on this live stream. But not only do they do that, but they have to follow all of these instructions, which now I guess we've seen one of these jurors apparently can't follow the instructions or won't follow the instructions.
Thanks to, I've never been on the news, so that's the weirdest thing ever, but I've never been on the news.
Mentioned in all of this, Maureen Comey threw out something called U.S. versus Baker. She kind of cited this as a former case. Now, this is from Inner City Press's reporting. While still waiting, in a case USA Comey cited, so she cited USA versus Baker. Second Circuit upheld removal of a juror who, quote, refused to participate in deliberations as required by her obligations as a juror.
Do y'all think that anybody would be removed? Because I think it's a high probability. I do. I think it's a high probability that some people that, or a hung juror. Ooh, that's possible too. That's possible too. But I definitely feel that way. I definitely feel that they may have to remove a juror. It could come down to that if they're already writing a letter to the judge about one. It could come to that point. Sean, do you have plans on coming to the East Coast for a show like this? Oh, something like that. Something like that. Possibly. Something like that. It's like, not like that. But you can meet me, if you wanted to. So yeah, I think that maybe that's what the jury's probably trying to point at. That like we need this person gone. We need this person gone. But it could go either way. Do they need that person gone because the majority of them feel like he's innocent on some charges and this jury's just like, no, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty? Or is it the other way around? Did they all find him, or the majority find him guilty on something, and it's just this juror that is just not following the rules, and going against what the instruction was. And that could also be them pulling out outside information, or using information that's not supposed to be used. No young Miami did not testify. Like the arson and stuff like that, because that's supposed to be excluded. So if they're bringing up things like that, like, oh, well, he did, the car, all of that. Well, he did kidnap them because this person was this, or the assistant said that she was da 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 da. That stuff has to be like removed. It has to be like let go. So is that the part of the instruction? I mean, it could be so many different things. But they do have strict rules of what is allowed to be said and what isn't allowed to be said. So I wonder how that person is being unruly. I wonder. Ooh, girl. Because I could see the judge get. They already got rid of a juror. They already got rid of one. I could see them definitely getting rid of another one. I could see that happening.
I don't know. They should be talking it out. And also, I do have another update from court as of 2:02 p.m. So just a couple of minutes ago,
Another update.
The judge asks, do we have an agreed upon response? So it seems like perhaps maybe he's asking that the defense and the prosecution work together for a response to the jury. Now, Combs is Mark Agnifilo says, no, we do not. And Comey says, Ms. Slavic has emailed it to Chambers, which, so she's sent off the email, it sounds like. Now, the judge asks, do we have the defense proposal? Comey says, okay, it's going to be in Ms. Slavic's email. Now, another update, the judge said I would prefer, hold on one second, I'm sorry, we're getting so many updates in all of this. And again, just to remind any of you who are
hurry up, girl.
I'm live hosting from the field and getting updates, second by second. So I'm trying to bring them to you as fast as I can and give you all of the updates on all of that. Okay, so the judge says I would prefer to have a neutral response like the government's draft response. That's the one I'll use. I'll put it on the court's letterhead, okay? Then Agnifilo replies and says, there is no suggestion the juror will not follow instructions, so our proposal is more inert. So, okay, Brian, break this down for me.
Yeah.
Does it sound like both sides are working together, the defense and the prosecution, to come up with a response that the judge will write out, but they're maybe disagreeing on it? What does all this mean?
Well, you can count on disagreement, and what the judge is trying to do, and it was highlighted earlier, this judge doesn't want to create a problem. And so the judge smartly is saying to the parties, hey, listen, I'm not going to listen to you guys complain later. Give me what you collectively want me to do. And he's doing that for a very good reason, because he wants to protect both interests, both parties, and not give them a reason to complain later. The defense, though, very smartly is basically saying, no, we're not going to agree with some instruction that the government agrees to just for the sake of agreement. We're concerned about Diddy's rights. We're concerned about this case. We're concerned about removing a potential juror or influencing a verdict at this point. So it doesn't surprise me that the parties don't agree. They haven't agreed for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And my guess is that the judge will, as he is suggesting, send something very neutral back to this jury so he can't be accused later on appeal of in some way molding this jury into a verdict, or perhaps causing a situation where a juror has to be removed. And that's the last thing anybody wants. But that case they cited is precisely what happened. You can remove a juror who simply is obstinate and not willing to interact and think through a verdict with his fellow jurors. But the judge is playing it right. It's the smart move. Try and get them to agree so nobody can complain later.
Brian, you're so right. I don't know why.
So I wonder if the judge is basically telling them if the prosecution and the defense want to get rid of the juror or whatever plan they want to go with forward with the instruction that the judge is going to give the juror, that they need to decide right now, because I don't want to hear nothing later. Like, I don't want anybody trying to appeal at whatever the decision is based off of this little discrepancy and whatnot. So no, I will take the draft of what both of y'all come up with collectively together and both say yes to. Then we can take that and we'll move forward. But until then, no, we're gonna sit right here until y'all two, both sides, collectively come together and decide on something, or what decide what you want me to do, so that you can say that I messed this up and try to go against the ruling because I decided this when this person thought this and this person thought that. It's like, figure it out. So at this point, the defense is just like, yeah, no, we have not come to an agreement. Okay, it's fine how it is.
Motion in order to keep this juror. They talk specifically about how this is a black juror. They want to keep him on. They highlighted that incredibly. What do you think about that, Mauricio? Is that at all telling this past dismissing juror number 6 with what could happen in the future for this issue with juror number 25?
Okay, so juror number 25 is the problem.
First of all, obviously the defense is going to make a big deal about striking a juror that's of the same race as your client. You want juries to take into consideration to be equal when it comes to race. You want all races represented, and you want the race of your particular client to be represented in the jury. Now, if they excluded that juror, that's going to be an appellate issue for sure. One way or the other, they got rid of him, and that motion that the defense wrote is not only to try and convince the judge not to do it, but to solidify the issue in the future for the appeal, because you want to make sure that you make all your arguments and you put your objection on the record. Now, if they already did that once during trial because they had no choice, the judge is going to be really hard pressed to do it again. He doesn't want a mistrial. He doesn't want to create appellate issues. And at the end of the day, the reason that this is so shocking, and I think Brian would agree, is that they did it so quickly. So it's more an indictment as to the jury as a whole, as to the foreperson, about working together, as it is regarding juror number 25. Because even if juror number 25 was being hard-headed, even if juror 25 was being stubborn, it's the role of the foreperson and the role of the jury to continue to try and talk. Listen, why do you feel that way? Let's listen. Throw your hands up within 2 hours and write a note, writing them out to the judge. That is not indicative that the jury as a whole is functioning as they should. Yeah. And it's really, it would be worrisome, I think, more for the prosecution than the defense, because, at the end of the day, a mistrial or a hung jury.
Right, that's going to work out in Diddy's favor.
Is a loss for the prosecution more than it is for the defense. Because for the defense, if you get a hung jury in a case like this and they decide to retry it, you already know their case. They didn't put up a defense, but the prosecution put up their case. That means that now the defense knows everything that you have.
Right.
There are no more secrets.
And that's not something we want to see right this far into all of it after 8 weeks of coverage, not to mention all the civil cases we hear have personally covered on Law and Crime. We want to know the verdict, right? I think that's what everyone wants. And by the way, I do have an update right now from court, so this is definitive what's going on. The judge says, I don't want to suggest to the jury that there is any particular time they must deliberate. I don't want them to tell them they just got started. I'm going with the government version. We will print that out and send it on. So it sounds to me like Judge Arun Samaranian is saying, hey, there's no time length here. If you guys feel like you've come to a decision here, that's it, okay? So it sounds like whatever the government had written up, that Christy Slavic had written up, it sounds like that is what is going to be sent over to the jury, and that's that. So I guess we're going to see what happens. And by the way, I do want to thank everyone who's been with us on this live stream. Again, I'm reporting live here in the Southern District of New York. Behind me is the courthouse where this.
So it seems as if the judge has overruled what the prosecution and the defense were going to come up with as their strategy to go forward. The judge said we're going to use the government copy of what goes down when these certain things occur. So that way it's written in stone. So they're going by the playbook, at this point. So even if this does go into appellant, which is an appeal or a retrial, or whatnot, the judge can't technically be held liable for it, or anything like that. Which I also think that this will avoid that happening too. So at this point, it's still not 100% if this is more so of like a hung juror, or if the majority has came to an agreement, but this juror is being extremely difficult. So I'm wondering if it's that. It's like are they already done? And the issue is that this juror is, because they could have already reached a decision, pretty much. To be like, we feel like we know what's what. Okay? And then based off of hearing everybody out, and then hearing everybody technically vote about something, because I don't think they got to the voting right away, because they only been in deliberation going on 3 hours. So I don't think that as soon as they sat down, it's just boom, guilty, innocent. I don't think it was like that. I think there was discussions being had, prior brainstorming, hearing each other out, hearing why what person thinks they're what, then saying what, So I feel like it was more so like that. And I think it was a majority ruling until it may have gotten to one juror. And that juror has been making things difficult. Really difficult. And not following instruction. And I think that that's probably why they're reaching out. Because maybe, what if they did? What if they've already come to a verdict? At least with part of it. Maybe not everything, but maybe some of it, and they're trying to move on to the next part, but they can't because this juror is being very difficult and not following the instruction that was given by the court prior to going into deliberation. Oh girl. So we are at 2 hours and 41 minutes and 7 seconds of deliberating. Okay, thus far. This is insane. So I'm going to keep that going. I'm going to keep looking online too for other updates as well. What are y'all thinking? Do y'all think they're going to try to vote this juror out? Or do y'all think they're going to send somebody in there to talk to the juror? Or are they going to try to get rid of him or her? Juror 25 better write a book after all of this or send them, yeah. Because Juror 25 seems to be the issue right now. Juror 25. I wonder, let me see if I can pull up any information on Juror 25. Let's see, Juror 25, Diddy case. So we have juror number 25. We are concerned cannot follow your honor's instructions. The note read, the note did not elaborate on which instructions the juror cannot follow. The jurors are anonymous, which is not the norm in U.S. criminal trials, but is common in high-profile cases in which jurors could face harassment or threats. After discussing the note with prosecutors and defense lawyers, Submarinian said he would send a note back to jury reminding them of their obligations, but to take no further action for now. Juror number 25 described himself during jury selection on May 5th as a 51-year-old veteran who lives in Manhattan with his domestic partner, a freelance graphic designer. The juror said he has a doctorate in what? Neuroscience, and enjoys nature documentaries, opera, and hiking. He is white. This is a white man. Correct. Juror 25 is a white man. Correct. Do not blame this on us ever again. Correct. Do not blame this on blacks. Hell no. These characteristics, he's white. which is a white man, he is clear. Okay? It says, Juror 25 described himself during jury selection on May 5th as a 51-year-old veteran. Wait. Is that? No, that's veterinarian. Oh, yeah, he white as hell. Who live, because we black, we scared of dogs. Who lives in Manhattan with his domestic partner. Ooh, he gay. Ooh, this is a gay white man. Oh, this is a gay one. Young man, yes. YMCA, yes. And he got a lot of jobs. He a freelance graphic designer and a veterinarian. I just say with his domestic partner, not wife. That did not say wife. Gay as hell. I'm a pony. I'm a pony. I'm a pony. So yeah, happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. He is gay. Gay, gay, gay. Yeah, it says with domestic partner. He gay. Hello? I know what that means. Me a speaker gay. So y'all know what that means. And then it says that the juror said he has a doctorate in neuroscience and biology and enjoys nature documentaries, opera, and hiking. We don't have time for all that. It's like 4 black people on the planet that hike. Correct. And most of them missing still. So, yeah, nope. Opera, we'll pass. We good on all of that. Holland. And so we look, Screaming for Hudson is the closest it gets to opera for us. A Screamer for Hudson is the closest thing that it gets to opera for us. And I'm a girl in Luanse. And our girl Luanse. Yeah, neuroscience. Gross. We don't have time for that neither. Yes. Correct. So yeah, and he lives in Manhattan. So yeah, he one of those, bougie, white gay Manhattans. Well, correct. Bougie. Mm-hmm. Correct. He's a bottom. He was a theory. Yeah. He was a theory. Yeah. He was a theory. He probably net like this. Girl, he probably not like this, girl. Y'all, he ended up looking at the people like this. Over top of his glass. Okay. He probably not saying Diddy innocent. He probably not saying Diddy innocent. He's innocent just because he likes to watch men be with other women. That doesn't mean that he's not a sexual deviant. He's just free. He's just free like the rest of us in the LGBTQ. That's just what that is. He's not gay. He's not because there's Cooter involved. We don't like Cooter, but he likes Cooter. But doesn't mean that he didn't hurt nobody. So yeah, that's just what I wrote. Yeah. He was a theory. See, our Juror 25 is gay as hell. Okay? And the snap of his neck, all of that. Yes. He's in there reading them their Mirandas. Okay? Yes. He in there reading the girls down. He in there reading the girls down. Yes. Correct. What? He is. He grabbed it. Listen here, ma'am, you need to sit down because when I came up in here, I could have told you that that blouse not go with those pants that you have on because they don't even go, they're above your ankle. And yeah, you could at least wear some sandals with those or at least the low wedge on the bottom of your feet, but you chose not to. So there's no way that I'm going to sit here and listen to anything that you're saying because you clearly don't make the best decisions just based off of how you did your hair because you could at least put a little gel in front and swoop the side bang to the side because right now it's summer and that's what's in right now. So I can't sit here honestly and listen to anything they were saying to me because as you're saying it, I'm just looking at how atrocious your outfit is and how bad that you make it. So it's just like, or you're not reading down. And here they're reading down. Correct. Yes. Sir, I can't listen to anything that you're saying because I can smell your breath all the way from over there. And that's the problem right there, deciding that you can't make good decisions because it would have been a great decision to put a little crest on top of the toothbrush, put it in your mouth before you came in here trying to have conversations with us. So if you could please stop talking to me immediately, I would really appreciate that. The judge said that we didn't have to speak to anybody that wasn't speaking at that point in time, and I'm talking right now, and I don't want to talk to you. So, yes. Correct. That's just what they were here. They're reading the girls down. Here they're reading the girls down, bro. Really don't care what the judge is about to come back here and say to me because I know what I'm saying is right. I know what I'm saying is right and I'm not going anywhere. If they try to get rid of me, I'm going to sue everything here fucking moving. So, yes, boom. So, yeah, the juror 25 is in there reading the girls down. Correct. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. And he's 51. He said, look at here. Look at here. I went to school with him. Y'all just don't understand him. I used to see him down the hall when we used to go to school, and there was a lot of kids that used to pick on him. And I'm not going to lie, it was a little ugly, but, he did grow into his face. So, and I'm girl, he 51, Diddy 55, bro. I was a freshman and he was a senior. So, that's just what they were. That's just what they were. That's just what they were. Correct. Yeah, he probably in that team Diddy. Probably trying to get invited to a freak off. After the free Diddy and come out there like, Diddy, I'm the one that freed you. So the next time you decide that you're going to do one of them there free calls, which you did there on that tape, I like that what I had saw there. That's why I freed you, because I want you to do like to me. Do you think you can do like to me, Diddy? I got you out there. I'll put you back. I got you out there. I'll put you back. So, and I'm a girl, correct. So that's just what that word was. He probably liked what he saw. So I'm watching a freak on tape like, didn't like how you did that. Never saw it. You can do that from the back. Wonder if you can do that to me. So yes. He's trying to free Diddy. He's trying to see what that thing will turn around, and that thing will turn around and go around, up in that thing, turn that thing around, up in that thing and the thing. He's trying to see what that's about. He's trying to see what that's about, girl. He's trying to see what that's about, girl. So yes, please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. They're right in the title here. Diddy is guilty. But they want you to go to jail bad. Me too. I would be here for it. If everything was guilty, party. Party. Shout out to Daniel. Thank you so much, sweetheart. For the super sticker. Thank you so much, girl. Thank you so much, girl. What? That was cute. What did I say? Diddy would love you behind bars. Why me? There's already gays there. Like, gross. Why do I have to go? There's plenty of people there already that he don't need me. He don't need him. There's plenty of bate boys in there. And I'm all gone. Why me? Ugh. He couldn't afford me. I am a fairy. I am a fairy. Yeah, he can afford me. Like, not at all, girl. He can afford me. hmm He has to pay me in morals. He has to pay me in values. Like, his money's no good here. His money's no good here at all. Yes, and a damn sure ain't no good in jail. He wants to deck out a cell, I don't know. Put a mattress on top of that cement. Or what? Like, girl, like, he wants to be rich in prison. Hilarious. Cassie was where you say that. What? She was. She was. That was messed up. That was messed up. They said it's just like the OJ verdict. I'm young, so I wouldn't know nothing about the OJ verdict, but shout out to that case. I'm too young for all that. I'm young. I'm young, so I don't know nothing about the OJ case. Y'all said he did it, and he left a glove behind. I don't know. I'm too young. I'm too young. So it's as old as me. What happened is as old as I am. So yeah. Well, Jack Grant, I'm too young, girl. I don't know nothing about all that. I don't know what these Bundys and all. I don't know nothing about all these. No, like the LJ verdict, but just a twisted. Ooh, not the glove did it, Tammy. I cannot. I cannot. They said the idea of going to prison for life for dealing with hoes is mind blowing. Oh my god. Now that was a read. That was a read. Literally. That was a read. You said imagine. Imagine that. Life from prison, all because she was dealing with some hoes. Woof. That's a word right there. Yeah, girl. Not the jury is having a freak off. I cannot. What is this about Juror 25? I missed a lot. He's gay. The person that said that in the chat. He's gay. He has a domestic partner. He's 51. And um, he like opera. And he ended up being messy. Diddy in the industry exposed who? I don't know who that is. What are we thinking, y'all? What are we thinking? Are we thinking that the jury is going to conclude? It sounds like the judge made the decision for them. That's what it sounds like. It says, Judge, I don't want to suggest the jury that there is any particular time that they must deliberate. I don't want to tell them. They just started. I'm going with the government version. We will print that out and send it in. Shout out to Inner City Press. Let me pull them up on Twitter. Let's see what's going on over there. Oh, girl. Inner City. What's going on? What's going on? Give us an update. Nothing. Nothing yet, y'all. Nothing yet. The last update is still that the judge sent the jury the government version of the next step after this little hiccup that they have with juror number 25. Still nothing. 26 minutes ago, what did it say? Judge will instruct jury to continue deliberations. Okay. So he is instructing them to continue. The judge is, yep, 3 minutes ago. 3 minutes ago, judge instruct jury to continue deliberation after jury says one member is confused about instructions. So they are continuing. They are continuing to deliberate. They are continuing to deliberate. So I wonder what part of the instructions he is confused about. Because that's what it says. It says, judge will instruct the jury to continue deliberating after jury says one member is confused about the instructions. And then it said, this is before that update. The update 45 minutes ago says, jury note expresses concern that one juror cannot follow the instructions. So the jury elected the 42-year-old mother of two as the foreperson. So they did choose a woman as the foreperson.
Feel more human.
Shut up. Okay, it says jury will instruct to continue. Judge the Marinian says he plans to continue deliberating and follow his instructions regarding the law. He suggested he may offer firmer instructions on the law if the issue with Juror 25 continues. Both sides offered slightly offered slightly competitive proposals to respond to the note with the government's proposal encouraging jurors to firmly stick to the original instructions of the law. Quote, having received both parties' proposals, I will note that in the large part they are the same, Submarinian said. The issue I have with the defense proposal is it suggests that the issue raised is not an issue of any concern and that the jury should return to deliberations. Judge Submarinian said he plans to put the government's proposal language out on court letterhead and provide it to the jury. The jury foreperson sent a note to the judge after 70 minutes of deliberation, stating that the juror in question cannot follow your Honor's instructions and is requesting that the judge address the issue. So, ooh girl. So they are continuing as of now. They put out a firm list of rules and instructions for the jury, or the juror 25. They gave them the government issued copy. So it's like, look at here. Follow this or get the boot. Follow this or get the boot. Well, I don't think that I don't know, because I don't know. I don't think it would be a good thing for a juror to be booted. I think everybody should stay in place and everybody should, vote accordingly to how they truly feel and then just go from there. Instead of getting rid of people and bringing in an alternate and all of that, it's like, let's get this over with. Let's get this over with. I'm looking for more updates. It's like, I would rather them keep everybody that they have. No, I don't want them to. Not at all. Not at all. Both sides they agree. Still the same thing. Still the same thing. So I'm assuming they're back into the deliberation, because the last update is that the judge sent the letterhead over of the government standard issue. So back to deliberation. So let me click the verdict watch. Yep, 3 hours and 2 minutes, 37, 40 seconds. So yes, so they're back into deliberations because the clock started again. It had paused there for a second. They said Jay-Z should be next. They said LeBron and Jay-Z guilty too. Jay-Z, they on your top. Let's go to Twitter. Go to Twitter. Let's see what's going on over here. Nothing. Still the same old, y'all. Verdict watch, verdict watch, verdict watch. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Diddy gonna be found guilty? Do y'all think innocent? Again, like I said, I don't see him being found guilty on the SCX trafficking charges, but I could see possibly the prostitution and the racketeering. I could see him going down for the racketeering, part of the RICO charges that he is facing, but I really don't see that trafficking charge going down. I really don't. Finding a whole bunch of baby oil and Astroglide and stuff like that. Again, people completely lied, said that it was filled with ketamine and GHB, and none of that was true. They alleged a lot of rumors and stuff about children and all of that. Which, let's get into some of that. I mean, why not? Just for some giggles. Let's get into some of all these allegations. Allegations. Y'all see Diddy girls was crying when they had came out of court the other day. I was like, so? Like, who cares? Honestly. They ain't cry when Cassie was getting pummeled in that hallway. They ain't cry at that tape. They ain't cry at that. Well, like, who cares? They're crying slowly. Did accuse of...
Sean Diddy Combs case is now in the...
Who's this?
Honestly, I feel some type of way. I didn't know I was a third party to, all this violence and coercion, and I thought I was just there for a good time with consenting adults and making good money off of it. But I was approached by Jane Doe through Instagram.
So this one of the free calls.
She reached out to me through Instagram, asking me if I was in Los Angeles, if I'm single, and come hang out. And she did mention that she had boyfriend, husband that liked to watch, and I was like, a charge for that kind of thing. So actually, it was like performance based, usually like 4,000 to 7,000.
See how he was
honestly,
saying?
I feel some type of way. I didn't know I was a third party to.
So I mean, and that's another thing too. Like he said, the Jane Doe, he's speaking to her about owing about money at all. No one's speaking to Diddy directly. And Diddy offering them this. So that's another tricky thing in bringing him up on those type of charges. It's like, well, he's not directly doing it. It may be. Oh, girl.
Do you see that the Diddy case is already getting covered up? There's already corruption. There's already attorneys wondering why the victims are not getting their information out. There's already attorneys running why shit is getting covered up. Look it up. Go ahead and look it up. Already, there's cover-ups happening. I told you that. Because everybody's like, call the feds. You can get on the case. You think we dumb?
Yeah.
I know a lot of you don't know what that means. And again, the first thing to do is let's call the police and let's get you on the case. That's not going to do anything. If anything, the case is already, you can see it. We can. If we throw it at 6 from something and we don't say shit to y'all, it means we see something and we're waiting for everybody else to see it. Okay? We already seen that coming a long time ago.
What is happening?
That case is about to get shut down. Everything is about to go under the rug. The same way Ghislaine Maxwell's case went under the rug. The same way nobody's talking about Ghislaine's case anymore. Like it didn't even happen. The same way we're not even talking about the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was the John. Ghislaine Maxwell was the supplier. Who else do you think that she sold kids to?
What?
Remember I told you Johns, traffickers, pimps. All different. Okay? Epstein was the one who said, I want a 6-year-old. I want a 9-year-old. I want a 12-year-old. Ghislaine is the one who said, I know where to find that 6-year-old, 9-year-old, and 12-year-old. I will sell them to you. Epstein had parties where he invited multiple people to come and take part in who he brought. Who else did she sell kids to? You see how that just got covered up?
What?
Quiet. Nothing.
No, I'll repeat that.
There's already corruption. There's already attorneys wondering why the victims are not getting their information out. There's already attorneys wondering why shit is getting covered up. Look it up. Go ahead and look it up. Already there's cover-ups happening. I told you that. Because everybody's like, call the feds. You can get on the case. You think we dumb? I know a lot of you don't know what that means. And again, the first thing to do is let's call the police and let's get you on the case. That's not going to do anything. If anything, the case is already, you can see it. We can. If we throw it in 6 from something and we don't say shit to y'all, it means we see something and we're waiting for everybody else to see it. Okay? We already seen that coming a long time ago. That case is about to get shut down. Everything is about to go under the rug. The same way Ghislaine Maxwell's case went under the rug. The same way nobody's talking about Ghislaine's case anymore. Like it didn't even happen. The same way we're not even talking about the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was the John. Ghislaine Maxwell was the supplier. Who else do you think that she sold kids to? Remember I told you Johns, traffickers, pimps, all different. Okay? Epstein was the one who said, I want a 6-year-old. I want a 9-year-old. I want a 12-year-old. Ghislaine is the one who said, I know where to find that 6-year-old, 9-year-old, and 12-year-old. I will sell them to you. Epstein had parties where he invited multiple people to come and take part in who he brought. Who else did she sell kids to? You see how that just got covered up? Shut down, quiet, nothing.
Psycho talk.
What happened to her victims on that case? There were multiple victims that threw into that case. What do you think happened to them? Do you think they got silenced? Do you think they're okay? Do you think they're safe? Do you think their information is safe? Do you think their information was heard? Because did you hear it? No. Because are we still talking about it? No. What do you think happens when everybody jumps on one thing?
Cuckoo. Literally. And y'all wonder why. Because a lot of people say, well, what happened to the minors? What happened to, the teenagers and the children and people like that? That's what happened to them. That's where they went. Are y'all to know? Oh, let me show you where the kids have gone. I'm getting an update real quick. Still the same thing. Back into Deliberation, 3 hours, 16 minutes, 39 seconds. Oh, let me pull this over. I don't know where the kids went.
This nigga so nasty, his own children had to walk out the room. And every last one of y'all who sat there and spent more time talking about how the girls, whose mother is no longer here, whose brothers are all caught in compromising situations because of their father. Anybody who thought that that was news, I was there in the courthouse and I saw Diddy's kids run out because of this and because of that. That's not news. That's not news. It's not even gossip. Oh my God, I saw them when they ran out. They were listening to the testimony and they ran out. I bet they did run out. That's their damn daddy. I said it on the blue couch just a couple of years ago. I feel bad talking about these kids' parents, but their daddy is the devil.
Y'all know the hag when y'all hear the hag? Y'all know the hag when y'all hear the hag.
twice about just walking in, and when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff.
Ooh.
However, Diddy came to her the next day, asking her if she was going to tell anyone what happened. She told him she wasn't going to do that, but Diddy did believe her, as he grabbed her and was mildly aggressive with her. The lady must have been scared out of her wits, because she wasn't expecting any of what was happening at all. But what caught our attention was Diddy's response to her when she asked why he did lock the door to his office if he was so concerned about getting caught. Diddy gave the most shocking response that explains why he's untouchable in the industry.
He said, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do in my building. And she was, I just told her, he was like, it's power, see? I can make a man, he said, if I can make a man suck my dick, I can make people do anything for money.
Judging from Jaguar Wright's exposure of Diddy, it is clear that Diddy is no respecter of people and uses his wealth and influence to do anything he wants. But it doesn't end there. Another reason why Sean Combs is so untouchable in the industry is that he's behind the rise of several artists in the industry.
That's hilarious. Now I believe her when she came forward herself and said that she didn't see it. She came forward herself and said it wasn't her. It was her. It was her assistant that used to be a lawyer for Diddy, and then she hired that lawyer as an assistant, and that assistant told her that she actually walked in on Diddy and Christopher Williams. So you should have believed something else, because she admitted herself that she didn't see it with her own eyes, although she said she saw it with her own eyes. Yeah. She also said that she went to Diddy parties. She walked motherfuckers out just to go on Gary's show, Gary with the T, and says she has associates that went to Diddy parties. And said, hold on. I can just show you. I don't have to say it. I can just show you. Hold on, man. No, I'm petty. I'm very petty. But I have receipts. Very petty. Yes. Correct. I want some videos unavailable. It's okay. We have others.
There are rumors that Rihanna was actually trafficked.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. Oh, girl.
You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. Which is where people fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. Fucking right, I go to Diddy parties.
I want you to see her face.
Which is where people like me step in. To walk motherfuckers out! Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. Why would they talk about it? Who is there to go to? Who's gonna fucking help them? Fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. 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 Fucking right, I go to Diddy parties.
Okay.
Which is where people like me step in.
And then she says,
complicated to say, because I have a non-disclosure agreement that I signed before that concert that will prohibit me from saying certain things.
Really?
Yeah. I've known Sean Carter a lot longer than most people think. One of the hardest things about that day was sitting there pretending like we didn't know each other.
Okay. So it goes way back.
Yeah.
Were you ever personally friends with Diddy?
No.
you go to his parties?
But you got invited to his parties.
No, I knew a lot of people around him.
Oh, no? No.
See, I'll never forget.
Ooh,
Chris
girl.
Lighty.
She said no.
Come down.
She said she didn't go to Diddy parties.
You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. No. You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. Which is where people like me step in.
To do what?
To walk motherfuckers out!
Are you sure?
Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. Why would they talk about it? Who is it to go to?
Just like she has proof
Help them.
that Jay-Z did all of the things that she accused him of. Do you know she has proof of that?
Who do you think is next on the chopping block? Because I believe there's a chopping block, and there might be.
Well, there is. Sean Carter. They're trying to avoid him. I'm going to make sure they can't.
How so?
I have a total of 9 witnesses that are about to start coming forward.
9!
Welcome one by one.
One by one.
But the things that these people have to tell, and the video evidence and the recordings that they had.
Why was who testifying? Hagwar Wright did not testify in this trial. No, she did not.
Yeah.
That hoe was there, just like anybody else. Anybody can go into open court. It's open court. That was it. No. He did not testify about anything.
It's worse than Diddy. So
He's worse than Diddy, but she's the victim of Jay-Z herself. She's the victim of Jay-Z herself. What's she saying?
It's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend.
You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you?
Ooh, a box cutter.
I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z?
She said Cassie ain't nothing compared to what she went through with Jay-Z.
Put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape.
Now he got it on tape.
Fuck Jay-Z!
Bye.
And I think it's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend.
You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you?
Who gonna tell us? You?
I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape.
Fuck Jay-Z!
Grim.
And I think it's time for him to start
Crazy
speaking up about his
word.
very good friend.
You go to Diddy
You want
parties?
to know what a...
You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. Which is where people like
Are
me
you sure?
step in.
You sure?
To walk motherfuckers out!
Ooh, she said she gonna walk.
Cause ain't
out.
nobody stopping me when I come.
Ain't nobody
Why would they talk
stopping
about
her
it?
when she
Who's it to
come.
go to? Who's gonna fucking help them? What HR department do you know of that works for any of these labels?
Responding? Or what?
When have you ever heard of a sexual harassment suit being publicly acknowledged in the entertainment industry at all? Never. Not in entertainment.
Tupac. Remember that one?
I don't know what's happening. Wait 1 second, John. She lying so hard it's freezing. She lying so hard it's freezing. That's how hard she lying. Lord. Yes, I have a panther. A puma. Hello. Let me fix this because I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what's happening right now. Yeah, so I mean, if you're wondering what happened with the children and why people aren't talking about the children and why people aren't talking about the teenagers, and all of that have allegedly been affixed and all of that. Restored. Here we go. This is why people like.
It's complicated to say. Mm-hmm. Because I have a non-disclosure agreement that I signed before that concert that will prohibit me from saying certain things.
Lies.
Really? Yeah. I've known Sean Carter a lot longer than most people think.
Lies.
One of the hardest things about that day was sitting there pretending like we didn't know each other.
Lies.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So we go way back.
Yeah.
Were you ever personally friends with Diddy?
No.
You sure?
But you got invited to his parties.
No, I knew a lot of people around him.
No, you didn't go to the party. You didn't go to the parties,
I'll never forget when Chris Lighty had come down fully for a concert at what used to be the Spectrum, and then it became the Wells.
Let me throw you off, but naming a whole bunch of people and addresses and clubs and
it's complicated to say. Because I have a non-disclosure agreement that I signed before that concert.
You're fucking right, I go to Diddy parties. Which is where people like me step in.
Ooh, girl. That did not age well.
I had to sing the Lord's Prayer and watch my father.
Why?
Walk my sister down the aisle.
To who?
To the that it just me.
Ooh, Lord.
I hope you catch. I was trafficked. I'm saying that openly and candidly for the first time. I was trafficked. I'm better than that. I'm more.
Who lied?
You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Who wanna be trafficked? I cannot.
More. See, the difference between going through trauma and coming out more or less is victim or survivor. See, if you stay a victim, you come out less. But if you choose to be a survivor, there's nothing but more. You want to know how awesome it is to get framed for a crime you didn't commit?
You know how awesome it is for you to sit here and say that you got affect and say that, but you will lie and say that other people got affect too. Remember what you said about Rihanna? Remember what you said about Rihanna, girl. Hold on. Girl, remember what you said about Rihanna.
The first time I...
It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most sexually involved with, and that was Sean Carter. So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from a celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was fucking Jay-Z. Underage. Jay-Z gave her the herpes that she gave to Chris Brown.
Wow. Imagine just saying that. Imagine just saying that. Imagine that. Okay, it's the verdict and whatnot is still the same. Ooh, girl. Imagine doing all this lying when you ain't got them. So if you wonder what's happening with the churn and why people not talking about the churn, it's because people stop lying on the churn. That's it. That was never real. Mm-hmm. A bunch of made up fairy tale stories to create a narrative about someone that may have been committing sex crimes just differently. Meaning people of age instead of, because these were the same people going around saying that it was children, teenagers and whatnot on private planes and boats and tunnels and all of that. Because, whatever happened to all of that? whatever happened to it. Mighty confusing, but real. Very weird. Just listening. Still nothing. 3 hours, 30 minutes, 10 seconds. The jury has been in deliberation. The verdict watch is still going on. I don't think that there's going to be a verdict today. I really don't think that there's going to be one today. Possibly tomorrow, but I just don't think it's going to happen today. If they can barely get past the instructions, we're not getting a verdict today. We're not, and the courthouse closes soon in what, 2 hours? About 2-3 hours? So yeah. They're not gonna keep it open. They're not gonna keep them in the room until they're gonna close it soon. And then they have to go home, come back, and go again. So yeah. These people are they're super prudent. Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you to go watch. Who's that? Now Diddy gonna have a leaky bunghole. Who will write that? A free Diddy. Okay. Okay. Whatever that means. If MJ could be his charges, so can Diddy. Y'all be writing anything in the chat. Justice for Kim, Tupac, Aaron, and anyone else who he unalived and had unalived. Absolutely. Absolutely. Diddy is going to trust no one after this. He should already feel that way. He's going to go in for a long, 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 long time. So they send in the chat over here. After I heard the audio of Diddy get pounded. Diddy is going in for a very long time. Do y'all think so? Y'all think Diddy going in for a very long time? Very long time? Oh no, if Diddy gets out, he's going on a rampage with Hollywood. Oh yeah. Anybody that tried to show him that fake love in the background, Diddy about to make an album. But I do think he's going to get charged with something. I don't think it's going to just be nothing. I would be surprised if he was found innocent of all charges. I would be very surprised. Very surprised. I'd be like, what? Whoa! Whoa! I think they're going to at least get him with one. One count. If nothing else. It's not going to be innocent of all charges. That's not happening. I don't see that. I don't think it would have gotten this far. I could see a mistrial or a hung juror before him being found innocent of everything. Do y'all think Diddy's sleeping at all this week or not? Yeah, I think Diddy is a narcissist. And I think that Diddy is confident that he's going to get off. I think that's why he wanted a speedy trial, too. Because he feels like he's going to get off. He's a narc. So, I think he's sleeping just fine. I think if anything, he's anxious. I mean, who wouldn't be? I feel like if anything, he's just anxious and wants to know. I think if anything, he's probably that. But I don't think that he's sitting over there like shaking in his boots like, oh, I really think he's too cocky for all that. He's too cocky for all that. We've been shutting our eyes to it. They slip the way up. Sleeping like baby love. Correct. Just anticipate right. Her guilty love of arse. I hope you don't forget Ali Carter and Jay Polar and Lion Misha if he gets out. Agreed, Shrink Sharon. I hope people remember all those people. Do you think Diddy should get out? No. No. I do not think Diddy should get out because I don't believe that Diddy is innocent of all of these charges. I don't. I think a person that is innocent should get out, but I don't feel like he's innocent But one thing that I also don't like about this case is that a lot of people got immunity that shouldn't have immunity. A lot of the assistants and stuff that came forward, these people committed crimes, security, all of that, and it's like, why just blame one person? That's one thing I don't like. I don't like that. And then I don't like the targeting. Why target just Diddy? Why? Because if Diddy gets off, then all of the people that worked for him and whatnot, a lot of them are still going to go back to working for him, like out of fear, stuff like that. Like, I mean, the same thing is going to keep going. Like, you're not solving anything by just taking one person down. Like, why offer everybody and their mama immunity because you want to try to dogpile on top of? If you have the evidence that you need, you shouldn't have to dogpile. Take these people down with him. Like, it don't just need to be him. Get rid of this whole organization. How are y'all saying these is RICO charges for a criminal organization, but you're only charging one person? That doesn't make any sense. Like, we know the trials are going to be separate. We know the charges are going to be separate, but they still should be charged. They should be charged. Why let everybody get away but him? Like, what? Because then if everybody else is getting immunity, then his charges, to me, I don't feel like they're going to stick. I don't feel that way. I wouldn't confidently go in feeling like all of his charges are going to stick as prosecution with giving so many people a get out of jail free card. Like, no. They gave at least 8 to 10 people immunity. That's a lot of immunity. It's a lot. Cassie, Jane Doe, the FOs, like, everybody got immunity. Everybody get up. Everybody got immunity, except for the people that didn't need it. Those are the only ones that didn't. But everybody else, immunity. Do you really think this is happening? You gotta be more specific. You talking like we on the phone. A bunch of BS for me, right? To catch the big fish. Yep, I can understand catching the big fish, but you throwing, it's like trying to catch a fish in the middle of a Shark Tank. It's like, do you really think that you're going to get to the fish with a fishing rod before the sharks get to it? And when I say the sharks, I'm talking about the elite. The elite are the sharks that are in the water surrounding Diddy. Because that's who wants him, not the government. Prosecution don't want no damn Diddy. It's their job to want him. How did he get in front of prosecutors anyway with getting away with this for so long? He's normally protected. He got off. He had a whole trial to where eyewitnesses saw him pow pow at those people in the club, and he still was found innocent. They had witnesses. It was like, yeah, he did it. We saw him. And he said, nuh-uh, it was Shine. Take that. Because he was on the up and up with the elite at the time, so they protected him. They did. Now, there's no protection from the elite. This is why it's gotten this far. Because the elite would have never let this happen. Oh, no. They've been protecting him for far too long. Even when Diddy was, when his son Justin got into an altercation, an argument with his coach on his football team. Diddy went down there, haywire, freaking out, got physically aggressive with the coach, all of that. It was left off of the radar. Like, no one really knew about it. When Diddy punched a couple in the face, he punched a female in the face at the bar. And her and the man sued him for it. Swept under the rug. But then when you start messing with their anointed, which would be Diageo, the branding liquor company of Ciroc and De Leon, and suing them, and then suing them for wrongful termination and whatnot, all because you're black, and trying to use racial profiling and all of that, knowing you're lying. It's time to get you. It's time. We're gonna show you. Because who got more money? Because that's who wins. And Diageo got way more money than Diddy. Way more. Yeah, Diddy was almost a billionaire. They're billionaires. Plural. This is a company worth upwards of over $100 billion. you know, and you barely had one of those, you know. So it's like, yeah, you fuck with the right ones. If you were looking for a problem, if you were looking for a battle, okay, you mess with the right ones. hmm Correct. Ye is next. You know, honestly, I feel like Kanye is annoying to the elite. I think the elite is sick of Kanye. I think they tried to take him out in many different ways. I believe the elite would rather have Kanye than send him to jail. Mm-mm. I think he's worth more to them deceased than alive. So I feel like when the elite is done with him, he'll be gone. They'll really, like, for real, get rid of him. Because he can't be controlled. He's a wild card. One minute he with them, then the next minute he get them against them. Just like, again, he was the one calling Diddy a fed, saying F him, blah blah blah. He had all of this stuff to say about Diddy, and now you at his court. Now he just made a song with King Combs, Kanye. You know, all of, like, what you are truly bipolar. Like, what is going on here? You thought you hated him, now you don't. Like, what's happening? So yeah, I think that they would get rid of him. I don't think it'll be let's lock him up, and I don't think they waste their time. They could have did the same thing with Michael Jackson. That's why Michael Jackson never went to jail. They made sure of it. hmm They could have sent him to jail. End them. Right, Whitney too, right? hmm No, take him. Go ahead, take him out. Because that estate gonna go crazy. I think it did the same thing with Kanye. They could control Whitney. They tried. Whitney said, Whitney didn't play those type of games. Whitney said, yeah, Whitney, she didn't play those games. Tupac, no. Diddy, same thing. He don't want to be controlled. Mm-mm. Not everybody's going to be like Jay-Z and, you know, like Beyonce, people like that are like super loyal and super obedient. Not everybody's going to follow the rules. Like, I like Jay-Z, I do. But I think that he's a glorified yes man. I do. I feel like Jay-Z, feel like because I listen to white people, I'm a good black man. That's how I feel. I feel like he feel like because he's good, to, you know, since he listens to the white man, you know, that makes him a good black man. All you gotta do is be obedient. That's what it gives. Like he's like a self-righteous slave. Correct. Correct. He's a slave that want to be a slave. You know, like in the Django Samuel L. Jackson character. That's what it gives. Correct. How Samuel Jackson loved his slave master. You know, all of that, and how he would snitch on the other slaves if they did something corrupt. That's what Jay-Z gives. When Jay Prince and Irv Gotti, rest his soul, and, you know, all them people that into DMX, all them tried to get together and put the first black distribution company together, all that stuff. Jay-Z wouldn't talk to white people. Jay-Z said, look at here. I know where the money is, and I know where it is right now. I know what they're doing. I was just at the slave meeting, and they think about escaping. They about to run. They about to go to run to the north and make their own businesses. Y'all better go get them. Y'all need to go lock them up right now, master. I need to go get them right now. If I use math, so I go get them right now. So yeah, that's what it is. And I like Jay-Z. Like, I don't problem with Jay-Z. I love Beyonce, you know, but I do feel like they are elite do boys and do girls. Mm-hmm. Correct. Mm-hmm. If you know something is like of the elite, like the pyramid and all of that stuff, it's like, come on, Beyonce. Come on, like every time she does the stage, it's in pyramid form. The stage behind her always has some type of pyramid. Like it's just too obvious. You got Rumi on stage throwing up the. Although Jay-Z got sued for throwing that up. So yeah, but Rumi on stage throwing it up now, and when it's like, what is going on here? Like, what is happening? So yeah. So it does give, you know, since they're obedient, they feel that that makes them good people. So shout out to them. I mean, but that's definitely what it gives. They don't give anything other than that. That y'all are do boys and do girls for the elite. And yeah, he did. He got sued for throwing out the rock by Rockefeller and some another place too. Sued him for it. I think was it a football team or something like that? I don't know. But they sued him. That's why he stopped throwing it up. Allegedly. But I do remember him being sued. I read on it. I was reading on that, and he couldn't throw it up no more because he used to throw it up. Beyonce used to throw it up, but neither one of them throw it up anymore. But Rumi was just on stage at a Beyonce concert throwing it up. She did it twice. So and Beyonce was like moving her hand, like it's getting like Beyonce didn't necessarily like want her to do it, but she didn't stop her, like because she could have easily just moved her hands apart, just like girl, do it. But she didn't. Rumi was up there like represent. Not assuming it was thing. Some they still thought, oh no, they don't throw that up. Mm-mm. If you notice, you couldn't see Jay-Z in doing any type of performance or anything without him throwing up that rock. He do not throw it. He did that in years. He did not throw that up no more. He got super sued. Sure. Yep, she be throwing up that diamond. Deliberation 3 hours, 47 minutes. So yeah, I really don't feel like we're gonna get an answer today. But you never know. You never know. The jury is still deliberating. And how? Okay, so this is what I think I'm gonna do. Maybe we'll go run and do coffee real quick, and then come back over here and see like what has changed, you know, all that good stuff. Because right now we're pretty much just gonna be sitting here talking about old stuff, which is fine. But I don't want a super long live like dead air. I want to like get into it and like talk about it, and you know, this is annoying. This is annoying. It absolutely is. Okay, so maybe we'll come back in like an hour before the court closes. Give me an hour to do coffee. We'll run over to coffee and do a coffee. So give me about 10 minutes and we'll go live on coffee. I'm going to put up the promotion on YouTube and then we'll come back. We really will because I want to do the verdict. So if there is a verdict today, I would definitely like to do that open panel. Oh yeah, I'm all for it. Y'all want to do open panel? I'm all for it. All for it. To do an open panel. Absolutely. So yes, all of you guys. So I will be back. Okay? As of right now, they're still deliberating. Nothing's happening. Just going through the motions. So I love you. I will be back. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Who is that? Gigi. Thank you so much, babes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. All right. Who is that? Be quiet. Okay, all you guys. I will see y'all in a little bit, okay? Coffee.